The ZTQ-15 or Type 15 is the new light tank of the People's Liberation Army, or shortly PLA. Modern anti-tank weapons and drones dominate the current battlefield. So, is it wise to have a combat vehicle with less protection? As the weapon detective, we're now investigating the ZTQ-15 and why China needs a light tank. The ZTQ-15, which is nicknamed as the Black Panther, is a confusing weapon system. Does a relatively light armored tank have a combat value on the modern battlefield? Before seeking an answer to this question, let's briefly look at the history and features of the ZTQ-15. The ZTQ-15 was developed to replace the 21-ton Type 62 light tank, essentially a scaled-down version of the Type 59 main battle tank. Yet, the Type 62 had already been retired in 2011 before the ZTQ-15 serial production began in 2016. 2 years later, the new light tank officially entered the service of the PLA. The first units were delivered to the Combined Armored Brigade of the Tibet Military District. Alongside the PLA Ground Force, the PLA Navy Marine Corps and the PLA Air Force Airborne Corps operate the ZTQ-15. The ZTQ-15 has an air conditioning system and oxygen production equipment for the crew compartment. It is also fitted with advanced inertial and satellite navigation systems and a state-of-the-art digital inter-vehicle integrated combat information system, allowing for a high level of network-centric warfare and situational awareness capabilities. The ZTQ-15's fire control system includes a laser rangefinder, advanced ballistic computer, meteorological sensors, gunner thermal imaging sight, and millimeter wave radar. It can automatically track the target. Its muzzle reference system increases the first shoot-to-hit ability. The commander has a panoramic sight, allowing the vehicle hunter-killer capability. Feeding is provided via an 18-round tail autoloader. Besides, the ZTQ-15 carries another 20 rounds inside the hull. The design of the autoloader helps increase the gun's elevation angle. Also, thanks to its hydropneumatic suspensions, the ZTQ-15 adjusts its hull angle. Thus, the light tank can engage a target positioned at the high ground. The fully stabilized 105mm 58 caliber rifled gun has an effective firing range of 3 km in direct fire. Thanks to this feature and advanced fire control system with network-centric warfare capability, the ZTQ-15 can attack a target without seeing it by its optic sensors. Some sources claim that the light tank has a 15 to 16 km indirect fire capability. If it is true, it means that the ZTQ-15 can also be used as a self-propelled artillery. The 105mm gun can fire the BTA-2 armor-piercing fin-stabilized discarding sabot munition. At 2000 meters, it can penetrate the 220mm thick rolled homogeneous steel armor at 66.42 degrees and 550mm thick rolled homogeneous steel armor at 90 degrees. Even though the penetration capability of the round against the frontal armor of modern main battle tanks, such as the T-90, is insufficient, the BTA-2 can be effective against their side armor. It can also penetrate the frontal armor of the previous generation main battle tanks, such as the T-72 and M60. The ZTQ-15 can also fire the GP2 gun-launch guided anti-tank missiles with a range of 5 km. Thanks to its tandem warhead, this system can penetrate 650mm thick rolled homogeneous steel supported by explosive reactive armors. The GP2 is also effective against low-flying helicopters. The light tank can fire 7 to 9 rounds per minute. The ZTQ-15 has the coaxial 5.8mm QJT-88 machine gun in the turret. Some sources claim that it is fitted with a 7.62mm machine gun instead of the QJT-88. The light tank also has a remote-controlled weapon station mounted on the turret. It is fitted with a 35mm QLZ-04 automatic grenade launcher and 12.7mm QJC-88 machine gun. The high elevation angles of the remote control weapon station are a practical feature, especially in the mountains and urban areas. As standard, the ZTQ-15 features steel armor protection with additional layers of advanced composite armor panels covering the tank turret, hull, and two sides. Also, it is fitted with explosive reactive armor blocks to protect the front hull. Still, due to operational requirements, it can be fitted with thicker explosive reactive armor blocks and composite armor panels, which cover the whole turret and hull. Besides slat armor, armor skirt with explosive reactive armor blocks can also be mounted on the side and rear side of the hull to increase protection. While the previous Chinese tanks have carousel-style autoloaders with armor protection, the ZTQ-15's tail autoloader stores the ammunition in the armored turret bustle. This design also allows for reducing the turret size, which increases survivability. The ZTQ-15 is also fitted with a laser warning receiver, detecting incoming range-finding and anti-tank missiles. When a threat is spotted, the light tank can automatically deploy smoke grenades to prevent being eliminated by an enemy laser beam. The ZTQ-15 also has a fire suppression system and can be operated in CBRN environment. The ZTQ-15 has an 884 horsepower Type 8V132 electronically controlled diesel with a two-stage turbocharger. When the first stage of the turbocharger is engaged, the engine output increases to 1000 horsepower. At 4500 meters altitude, the air density is reduced by 65%, making a single-stage turbocharger ineffective. Thanks to the second stage of the turbocharger, the engine output increases to 1200 horsepower and the ZTQ-15 can keep its mobility. On the other hand, using the second stage of the turbocharger at low altitudes shortens the engine life. So, it is not practical to use the full engine power when the light tank is not at high altitudes. The hydropneumatic suspensions give the ZTQ-15 an excellent off-road mobility. They also allow the height of the vehicle to be adjusted. The light tank has a hydromechanical fully automatic transmission with neutral steering capability, transmitting engine output to the driving sprockets with high efficiency. A Y-20 military transport aircraft can carry two ZTQ-15s without explosive armor packages to 7,800 kilometers. Even though many sources define the ZTQ-15 as an air-droppable vehicle, it is possible only with a low-altitude parachute extraction system due to its high weight. Bangladesh and China are the operators of the ZTQ-15. The three-person crew of the ZTQ-15 consists of the commander, driver, and gunner. It is 9.2 meters long, 3.3 meters wide, and 2.5 meters high. The standard combat weight of the vehicle is about 33 tons. With the additional armor package, this weight increases to 36 tons. Its maximum road speed is 70 km per hour. The range of the ZTQ-15 is 470 km. Using external fuel drums, the light tank can reach a range of 800 km. The export version of the ZTQ-15 is the VT-5. It can be fitted with a Chinese active protection system depending on the customer's request. Unlike the ZTQ-15, the driver's hatch of the VT-5 is at the center of the front hull instead of on the left. Also, the upper front hull of the export variant is noticeably curved, whereas the PLA variant has a straight one. The VT-5's modular add-on armor kits are also noticeably different. The VT-5BD version of the Bangladesh Army has an improved 105mm main armament with a thermal sleeve and fume extractor system. It has the JL5 active protection system. The VT-5BD is fitted with a conventional 12.7mm machine gun mount over the turret instead of a remote-controlled weapon station. It also has a new 150 series diesel engine. The VT-5U is the unmanned version of the light tank. China also developed an armored recovery vehicle variant of the ZTQ-15. Besides, the VN-17 infantry fighting vehicle is based on the ZTQ-15's hull. Is the ZTQ-15 a continuation of an old doctrine or an innovative approach? The answer is obvious. It is nothing but a new light tank with more advanced subsystems. The real question is whether modern armies always need an innovative approach. We should accept that many successful innovations have changed the course of warfare throughout history. Yet, not all have caused a breakup. For example, combat aircraft with modern high-precision munitions have changed many things, but not all. The devastating air superiority was the critical factor of victory in the 1991 Gulf War. Still, the ground forces sealed the fate of the war. even though Yugoslavia had to accept defeat after the Unstoppable Air Campaign in 1999, NATO had to deploy infantry, tanks, and armored vehicles to Kosovo after the war. Iraq raised the white flag in 2003 after successful combined air and land operations. On the other hand, the air power of the West was not enough to overpower Afghan and Iraqi resistance. As Colonel John A. Warden III says, using Warden's 5 rings, you can destroy enemy combat capability, but not fighting will. The unmanned combat aerial vehicles and kamikaze drones are nothing but a new instrument of air power. They brought the victory to Azerbaijan against Armenia, but were not alone. The ground units of the Azerbaijani army also played a crucial role in the Second Karabakh War. And Armenia was not obviously prepared for such new warfare. When Russia began a full-scale invasion of Ukraine on February 24, 2022, it was also unprepared. The continuation of success of the new and innovative weapon systems always depends on the time. Eventually, an effective countermeasure system undoubtedly emerges. Before that, if the enemy also uses the same weapon with the same tactics, it always turns into a war of attrition. We are experiencing this in Ukraine today. So, according to our analysis, even though unmanned combat aerial vehicles and kamikaze drones have changed many things, they do not make the conventional ground weapon systems completely meaningless. They are not representing a fundamental transformation in the modern battlefield. So let's return to our main subject. The ZTQ-15 is designed for operations in plateaus, mountainous areas, jungles, and water-rich regions. Many of those areas also have poor infrastructure. They are unsuitable for the operations of heavy main battle tanks. So China needs a light tank. 2 specific regions have priority: the Indian border and Taiwan. In high-altitude regions on the Indian border, the air becomes thin. As mentioned, the 2-stage turbocharger of the ZTQ-15 gives the vehicle an essential advantage. Its oxygen generators also guarantee the smooth operation of the crew. The low weight and ground pressure of the ZTQ-15 are also beneficial in this region. The light tank can use poor infrastructure like weak bridges and unsafe cliff roads. The mountainous areas naturally has many inclines. Physics says force equals mass times acceleration. When a vehicle travels down from a hill, it is subject to gravitational acceleration. With this acceleration, the heavier tank is pulled down under the influence of a greater force. In this case, the engine has to produce more power to prevent the drag down of the tank. This situation increases the wear-out rate of the mechanical parts. The ZTQ-15 largely eliminates these problems. Neither China nor India will give up their claims in the region because the other party has more unmanned combat aerial vehicles and kamikaze drones. We should admit that the highly capable Prashan will be a high card for India in a possible conflict. Still, this helicopter cannot win a war alone. Ground troops will also play a crucial role in a possible war and need firepower, mobility, and protection. They will need a light tank. For Taiwan, China also needs light tanks, which are more suitable for rapid deployment. The ZTD-05 and ZTL-11 have a 105mm gun, but a less powerful one. Also, their protection is weak. On the other hand, the ZTQ-15 has enough firepower and survivability against the Taiwanese CM-11s and M60s, at least for a good enough time. Sometimes, a good old system with some updates is better than an expensive and fancy one. This fact paved the way for the rebirth of light tanks. The Harimau Kaplan MT, Sabra, and M10 Booker have followed the ZTQ-15. The world is changing. After a long time, military planners have begun to return to good old friends instead of seeking the most innovative but absurdly expensive weapons. The ZTQ-15 is one of the notable examples of this transformation. Thanks for watching our video. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button to be notified of our new videos. Also, you can now click the join button to support our channel. And as always, we would greatly appreciate all of your likes, comments, and shares.